Good morning, everyone. I trust we're all fine. I want to welcome everybody to this program, and thank you for coming and for making yourselves available to attend this wonderful session. It promises to be very impactful, interesting, and very, very educative. So welcome to the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom. Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom is the Wikimedia Foundation's flagship teachers training program, which is used to help educators to develop their vital media information literacy skills for the 21st century. So this program is designed to help secondary school teachers to learn how to integrate Wikipedia into their classrooms to foster media and information literacy skills. The curriculum of this program is aligned with UNESCO's MAIL framework, and it connects different approaches and methodologies used in the classroom to leverage the power of Wikimedia. So we have 3 modules that need to be completed before you can be a certified trainer. The 3 modules have been broken down into 5 sessions. So today we are starting with module 1, session 1. And this session will be a very interactive one. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the training with me. So I welcome you all once again to the first training session of the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program. So let me introduce myself to you. My name is Kemi Makinde. I'm a journalist, and I'm one of the local coordinators for the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom. I'm a content creator, and I also a WordPress enthusiast, and I contribute to the WordPress Global. This program has been sponsored by the Wikimedia Foundation. So during this session, we'll be using the chat box to communicate. So when I ask questions, you type your answers in the chat box. I can read it out and I can answer all your questions. So before we move on, it's important we get to know one another so that when we know one another, we can get really comfortable with ourselves. I've introduced myself that I'm Kemi Makinde. So you can ask questions. You can say, hello, Kemi. What do you think about this? You know, when you know one another, you get comfortable. So I want to know your name, the school you're from, the grade you're teaching, what brought you to this program, and what do you expect to learn from this program? Thank you. Please use the chat box. Okay, Mr. Kunle from Fajigba Girls High School. Okay, you're teaching computer science. Fantastic. So okay, you learned about this program from TESCOM. Okay, good. And you're open to learn a lot. Beautiful. Madam Obi, she's a head teacher of Bajabia Mila Secondary School. Okay. She's open to learn a lot, and she heard this from TESCOM. Beautiful. Mr. Clements from Keke High School is an agricultural teacher. He heard this from TESCOM. It seems as if many people heard about the program from TESCOM. That's good. That's a beautiful one. So let's continue. I'll keep reading. I'll keep getting to know everyone as we continue during this program. So let me read out today's agenda to everybody. So I'll be introducing Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom. I'll explain what Wikipedia is all about. Then there are certain misconceptions around Wikipedia. So we'll talk about it. I'll ask what your opinion is. I'll talk about mine. We'll talk about yours. Then we'll take a quick break. Then we'll look at the value of Wikipedia, the value Wikipedia is bringing into the classroom. We have a question and answer session. Then we'll wrap up and we'll call it a day. So what are you going to take from this program. So by the end of the session, you'll be able to understand the dynamics and requirements of the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program. Then you'll be able to argue against those general misconceptions, and you'll be able to talk about them. When people talk about Wikipedia and those misconceptions, you'll be able to answer them adequately. Then you'll be able to express the importance of Wikipedia as a source of information. There are some requirements you need to do to be able to get a certificate. So to get a certificate, you must have participated in the live training sessions. You must have participated in all the live training sessions. You must submit your assignment on time. You must meet up with the deadlines. There are deadlines for the assignment. Then you must submit your final assignment by the 25th of September. So these requirements are very, very important so that you can get your certificate, and coming to this training will be worth the while. So there are rules in everything we do. In a country that there's no rule, there'll be total chaos. So during this our training, there are rules we all must follow. So you can ask me any question. You can raise up your hand. You can use the chat box to ask me any questions. If you have any doubts in your mind, I'm here to answer you. Then I want everybody to participate. When I ask questions, I want us to participate. You use the chat box, you type your answers. I don't want you to be docile. It's important because this session is going to be very interactive. It's not a teacher-student thing. No, we are all going to learn together. You can tell me your experience, I tell you my own. That's why I say it's going to be fully interactive. So we should try and listen with rapt attention and with respect. It's extremely important. So, and please try to complete your assignment on time. It's extremely important to do that so that you can get your certification. And we should strive to become a supportive and respectful learning community. So you must learn to support one another. Wikipedia shows that in their community. Supporting one another is extremely important. So we start with topic 1, which is the Reading Wikipedia in the classroom. Please, I want you all to listen attentively and just be comfortable, relax. It's not difficult. It's very, very interesting. Wikipedia is a very interesting program, and you enjoy every bit of the session. So why do we need to read Wikipedia in the classroom? I think you should ask yourself that question too. Why do we need to read Wikipedia in the classroom? Okay, let's go through it. Wikipedia can help students to develop their media and information literacy skills. When you talk about media and information literacy skills, it means that they can access information, not just accessing any kind of information, they can access reliable information. So when you want to access reliable information, you want to know reliable sources of information. They can analyze information. They can also create, they are not just going to be consumers of information. They can also be creators of information, creators of reliable sources of information. And they can also be sharers of information. It's a good thing to contribute to open knowledge, because that is what Wikipedia is. So secondly, it's a starting point for any research. Why do we say it's a starting point for any research for a student or teacher? Because Wikipedia cites reliable sources. You can't write any article on Wikipedia without a reliable source. Trust me, it will be deleted. We have a community of volunteers that are editors that monitor everything that is written on Wikipedia. So it must have a reliable source. And those reliable sources, if it's not there, when you write an article, trust me, Those editors, I call them monitoring spirit. The moment you are writing it, they're putting it up for deletion. So you can't just write anything. So another reason why it is good to read Wikipedia in classroom is because it is written from an unbiased point of view. Your opinion cannot go on Wikipedia. So you cannot be biased because that story, you like the person you're writing about, then you're trying to write it to be sweet. There's nothing like that. You must, as you sit, now you go show, you must write what you see. That's the reality. And you don't plagiarize. So you must write from a neutral point of view. You must remove yourself from the article you are writing. Your emotions, you must remove it. You cannot be emotional when you're writing. So that is why they say articles on Wikipedia are written from an unbiased point of view. You can't be emotional when you're writing because it will be deleted. So let's move on. Wikipedia is up to date. I can assure you that because Wikipedia has more editors than any information source. Do you know that 25 edits happening per second on Wikipedia? As in 25 edits per second. People are editing Wikipedia 25 per second. That's the minimum. 25 edits per second. So you now imagine when you write something that is not from a reliable source, you put your emotions in it when you are writing because you like that person. You're writing about the governor of Ogun State, for example. Let me give an example. Oh, he's the governor. Yes, it's notable. You have written an article about him. Then there are aspects where he embezzled money. You refuse to write it. Don't worry. There's another person that's coming to put it because it has already been reported by a reliable source that he embezzled money and the case is already in court. So you are supposed to report it as well. Wikipedia reports from both sides of the matter, both from the positive angle and from the negative angle. You must report everything. So because you didn't report it, trust me, those editors will look at it and it will be reported. Another person will improve that article. So that is why it is up to date. If the governor of Lagos State finishes his term today and another governor comes in, I can tell you that somebody is going there, one editor is going there to update it immediately, former governor of Lagos State. And they will put the year when he served. So you can imagine. So that's why they say that it's a minimum of 25 edits per second. You to calculate it. So that's why we say Wikipedia is up to date. Then, using Wikipedia also helps to improve the content creation and writing skills of students. It has really helped me as a trainer. It has helped my content creating skills. Despite the fact that I'm a journalist, we need to write. I studied history in the university. I did journalism in my PGD, for my PGD. So you need to write. Despite that, being a part of the Wikipedia community has helped me to research well, to create content, to write. Because when you don't write well, there's somebody there, there's an editor there that's going to edit what you've written. And you can see what has been edited. You can monitor it. So when that English you wrote, now very bad English, as in it's not good at all. There's somebody that's going to improve that edit. So somebody is there to improve the edits that you have written, to put it in a better shape, because it is the world that is reading it and looking at it. So Wikipedia also helps, if used properly and critically well, it can be a valuable pedagogical tool to develop 21st century skills. So it can help to develop your digital 21st century skills. It helps you to be digitally savvy. So I hope you've been able to understand the reasons why we should read Wikipedia in classroom. I hope you got this part. So let's move on. Second topic, that's the Wikipedia basics. So I want to, before I go into the Wikipedia basis, I want to know, what do you remember about Wikipedia? And how did you find it? And what do you think about it? Use the comments. Please use the chat room. Let me see your answers. Thank you. I'm waiting. How did you encounter Wikipedia? When? And how did you find it? Okay. Mr. Kunle said you used it for research. It was very impactful, beautiful. Thank you. Madam Bimbo said she just sees it on Google when she's typing. She just sees Wikipedia. She has never used Wikipedia. So she never knew you could use Wikipedia for research. Oh, interesting. Don't worry. Now that we've started the training, you see how very, very impactful Wikipedia is. And it is up to date. I can assure you that. Mr. Funshaw said he opened Wikipedia when he saw it on Google, but he didn't use it. It just is like passing by. I like that word. You said passing by. Okay, let's move. Let's move to what Wikipedia is all about. So what is Wikipedia? Wikipedia is a free online encyclopedia that strives to share the sum of all knowledge. It's free. You can copy. You can create. It's totally free. You can imagine somebody putting such together to improve our knowledge, for us to access information. I think it's a beautiful one. Then it started January 15, 2001. Like I said before, Wikipedia is written by anonymous volunteers who write without pay all over the world. When they say anonymous volunteer, you don't know the person that wrote any article. If you write an article now, nobody knows that you're the one that wrote it. It's only you that know that you wrote that article. Nobody knows you wrote it because nobody can put a face to your username, because you on Wikipedia, you create a username to start writing on Wikipedia. So you have a username, you join the community. Nobody knows it's you that wrote any article. Nobody can put a face to you, to your identity. So can you imagine that? Then you now have people across the globe writing. Wow. That was what impressed me when I started using Wikipedia, that there are people monitoring it. People, they don't want the encyclopedia to be vandalized. So they look at it that when you do what does not align with the principles of Wikipedia, you're vandalizing the encyclopedia. So there are people guarding it with everything. So me too, I started guarding it. When I see article that is not well written, I try to improve it, you know. That's what everybody is doing. So once you enter the community, it's like everybody is sucked into it, trying to improve those articles, trying to write articles and make sure that they're from reliable sources. So Wikipedia too can be seen as, you can add content and improve Wikipedia articles if you have internet access. Then do you know that 1.5 billion unique visitors monthly, as of March 2020, 1.5 unique visitors were go on Wikipedia every month to access Wikipedia, whether to create article, to use it for research. 1.5 million unique visitors. As of today, Wikipedia is the most visited website in the world. That is how popular Wikipedia is. Then do you know that we have over 54 million articles written in 300 languages? Let me tell you something. We have Yoruba Wikipedia. We have Igbo Wikipedia. We have Hausa Wikipedia. Articles are written in Hausa. So that man that is from the north, that thinks he cannot read and write, don't worry. He has his article in Igbo. So he can read, he has that, sorry, he has that article in Hausa. So he can read it in Hausa. They said, since it's from the north, that is how beautiful the encyclopedia is. That is how impactful it is. So as a Yoruba teacher, you can use the encyclopedia to teach your student how to write in Yoruba. Can you imagine that? They will write articles in Yoruba. So that woman in the village that has an Android phone can access articles in Yoruba and read about our culture, our heritage, so that it doesn't go into extinction. That is how beautiful the encyclopedia is. I give it to them. Oh, somebody's writing something in the comment box. Said, that is wonderful. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. So let me continue. It is not a finished project. It is always evolving. They keep improving it. So it is always getting better by the day. Since the time it has started, since 2001 till this moment. So you can know that a collaborative effort, cooperation, innovation has gone into this, and it keeps evolving. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. That is why you and I can use it for our research work. So let's continue. Now we've gotten to the misconceptions. So what are the common misconceptions you have about Wikipedia? Because I want you to type in the comment box. Let me see the impression, those impressions you have about Wikipedia, then we discuss about it. Okay, Madam Bimbo is typing. Mr. Kunle is typing. Mr. Clement is typing. Madam Obi is typing. Okay. Madam Obi says that they said it is not reliable, so we should not use it for research work as educators. Okay. Mr. Kunle said that it is not up to date. Okay. I think I've talked about it, that is up to date. So we know that. Okay, let's continue. So these are some of the common misconceptions people have about Wikipedia. So let's try to trash them out. Anyone can add their opinion to Wikipedia and claim it as fact. That's what people say. That because it is edited by anybody can go there to write. So they can write their opinion and say it is fact. You remember I told you that we have some monetary spirit on Wikipedia. Our beautiful editors. They will not allow you to write such. So let's continue. Opinions are not allowed on Wikipedia. Please, I need you to take note of that. Your opinion, we don't need to read your opinion. We don't want to hear your opinion. We want you to report from an unbiased point of view, from a neutral point of view. Keep your emotions when you're writing on Wikipedia. So whatever is included in a Wikipedia article should be backed by a reliable secondary sources. What I mean by reliable secondary sources is that situation, that personality must have been reported by a newspaper, not a news blog. We don't know about news blog. A newspaper that have editorial team. Nation has reported it, Guardian has reported it, Punch has reported it, DZ has reported it. They will not report fake news because of libel. So they are always extremely, very, very important, very, very careful, in their reporting. So they have reported it. That is our secondary reliable sources. They've all reported it. So we will write from a neutral point of view, using them as a reference, as a point of reference for our article. That's why they said a secondary reliable source. So let's continue. It said if someone has content that doesn't follow this rule, it will be removed by Wikipedia editors. I told you that our wonderful editors. They are always patrolling. They patrol. That's what they do. They patrol the encyclopedia. It's not like they are walking with their leg. No, not that kind of patrol. They are patrolling. They are checking what is going on in the encyclopedia to be sure that you don't just write things that are not from a neutral point of view and are not from a reliable source. Let's continue. Another misconception, they said the editorial control of Wikipedia is left-leaning, progressive, and liberal. Okay, let's look at it. Let's explain it. Let's expatiate it. No single organization has editorial control over Wikipedia. The Nation newspaper has their own editorial team, so they have control over it. But nobody, no single organization. It is written by volunteers across the globe. Yes, and they discuss certain situations about different articles on the top pages. There's what we call top pages. So that's where it's discussed. So, and they address it through open dialogue on the platform. So you can see that there's no editorial team that is holding Wikipedia or has the power over Wikipedia. No, that is why it is a reliable source of information. Another misconception, they said edits done to a Wikipedia article cannot be reversed. Do you know that if you make an edit and what you've written is not from a neutral point of view, it can be removed. If somebody removes what you have written because you didn't write it well, if you feel it is well written, you can talk about it and it can be reversed. It can be removed and it can be reversed. If you can, you're able to explain why that sentence needs to be on the encyclopedia because you have been able to back it by a reliable source. Not you didn't back it with a blog or with a source from a blog. We don't want, it is not a reliable source. Blogs are not reliable sources. So you need to note that critically well. Let's continue. So another misconception, they say Wikipedia makes students lazy and they are more likely to commit plagiarism. Do you know what plagiarism is? Using another person's work, copying another person's work, verbatim, word for word, and putting it on Wikipedia. It's not allowed. It's not allowed at all. You see, Wikipedia actually empowers students to do self-directed research using the encyclopedia as a starting point. And it can facilitate the development of key 21st century skills that prevent students from committing plagiarism. It makes you to be creative. It makes you to write in your own words without plagiarizing, because you can't plagiarize on Wikipedia. It's not allowed. It would be deleted. I can assure you that. That is why we say Wikipedia is a complete encyclopedia. Complete. When I mean complete, I mean complete. And I will say it any day, anytime. And it is adequate for research work. Very, very complete. Let's continue. So, we'll take a quick break now before we move on to the next topic. So you just take a 5-minute break. You can stand up, stretch your body. You can grab a cup of coffee. I like coffee. Maybe you can take a drink, you can take donuts. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. So we have 5 minutes to stretch. Let's go on a 5-minute break now. Welcome back. Hope you were able to stretch your body. I've grabbed a cup of coffee, it's beside me. I'm drinking it. I love coffee. I can drink coffee morning, afternoon, and night. Don't mind me. So we are on topic 3, which is the value of Wikipedia in the classroom. Let's look at the values of Wikipedia in the classroom. So Wikipedia cites reliable sources. which we've talked about. So those are one of the key values of Wikipedia in the classroom. Wikipedia editors identify, evaluate, and cite reliable sources that enriches the articles. So those sources enrich the articles, I can assure you that. Then Wikipedia strives to be unbiased, like I've said earlier. Wikipedia is edited by both sides of the argument, which I explained. The embezzled money is the governor. So we will write both sides of the argument. We have to write it, whether positive or negative. It must be written because you're documenting the story of that person. So you don't remove that aspect where they said he embezzled money. It has been reported by a reliable source, by a secondary reliable source. So it has been reported, so it must be written. Wikipedia is up to date. So Wikipedia has more editors than any other information source can have. So we've seen the value of Wikipedia in the classroom. So Wikipedia is already being used by educators around the world to foster digital skills, critical thinking, research skills, and reach a variety of learning objectives in formal and informal education initiatives. So it means that Wikipedia is in some other parts of the country, in some other parts of the world, Wikipedia, they started using Wikipedia. Even in their classroom, they started encouraging their students to use Wikipedia. Then it has helped to improve and promote their digital skills, their critical thinking. Yes, you have to be able to think to be able to write on Wikipedia. They need to improve your research skills. You do a lot of research to be able to write on Wikipedia. So it has really helped. So we are on the question and answer segment. I'm going to ask you questions and I want you to answer by typing your answers in the comments section. Don't worry, I have t-shirts for the person that has the highest score from this training. So I have branded Wikipedia t-shirts that I want to give out. So let's go. So let's do a quick recap of some of the topics we learned about today. So read the following statement and write your answers in the comment section. So the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program contains 5 learning modules. True or false? Please type. I'm waiting to see your answers. Okay, answers are coming in. Someone said false. Yeah, Mr. Kunle said false. Madam Bimbo said false. Madam Buki said false. Okay. The false have it. We have many false. So it contains 3 modules and 5 sessions. I said that when we started the program, that this program contains 3 modules and 5 sessions, which every teacher must complete before they can get their certification. So my second question, there are Wikipedia articles written by volunteers from, I'm sure you are thinking about that question. Are they from UK, or they're from Nigeria, or they're from, where are they from? Oh yeah, let's type our answers. True or false? Okay, this person said it is true. It's not from any particular country, but across the world. Ah, beautiful. So let's answer the question. True is written by volunteers from all over the world. Yes, written by volunteers from all over the world. It's not written by any specific volunteer, maybe from Nigeria or from UK. No, it's a global. It's global, you know. People contribute to the encyclopedia globally. So let's continue. If I had my personal opinions to a Wikipedia article without citing any sources, it will stay on Wikipedia forever. So let's type our answers. Do you think my opinion will stay on Wikipedia? Let me see your answers. We have false, 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 false. Then you have somebody that wrote, you cannot write your opinion on Wikipedia. Fantastic. These people have started becoming gurus. Okay, let's answer. The false have it. So false. Wikipedia editors will remove non-factual information. Another question. When properly introduced and explained, Wikipedia can facilitate the development of key 21st century skills. True or false? Please, can we type our answers quickly? So we have true, true, true. Oh, who's going to get my t-shirt now? Okay, I'm sure somebody will, because it seems as if everybody is getting the program and many people are just writing true, true. So we are the truth, the truths have it. Okay, it is true. It can strengthen research skills, critical thinking. That is the answer. So we have reached the end of the first training session of the Reading Wikipedia in the classroom. You all made it. And I hope you'll be able to go through what you've learned, try to revise it, and look at everything we've talked about. Those key points I told you to jot down, take note of it because they are extremely important for you when you start using Wikipedia to create articles. So what is the next thing you need to do? Make sure that you work on your assignments, which is at the end of each section. I'm going to send more notes to our WhatsApp group. So please read them. Every assignment, try to finish your assignment on time and try to meet up with the deadlines. It's extremely important. So we would always use our forums to share our assignments, and I'll be monitoring your progress. I'll monitor every progress through our WhatsApp platform that we have created. Then I suggest that we refer to our program schedule so that you can know when the next training session is coming up, so you don't miss it and you don't miss the time. I would always post every information you need to know on the WhatsApp platform, and you can ask me any question. I'm available. That's my email. Please write down my email. If you have a personal question, you can reach me through my email address, which is shemilo99@gmail.com. You can reach me through my email. You can send me a mail. I'm always available. I will reply your mail. If you have any issues, any challenges, just let me know. You can write it on the WhatsApp group. Your questions, I am there. I'm available to answer every question. So thank you for your time and your active participation. I hope to see you next time. And I hope that you've been able to pick one or two things. And I hope the session was very impactful. So bye for now.